They said fame comes with pressure, but nobody warned T.I. it could break his own family. The internet's buzzing after shocking reports claim King Harris, the wild, fearless prince of Atlanta hip-hop royalty, is facing a secret health crisis that's got even T.I. questioning everything. This ain't your usual celebrity meltdown or tabloid rumor. This one's got tears, whispers, and late-night hospital runs hidden behind designer shades. You think you've seen drama? Nah, this makes the Kardashians look like a church picnic. We're talking a story so twisted it's like Empire meets Euphoria. Directed by Dr. Phil on his villain arc, rumors say King's been battling something way deeper than internet beefs, and T.I. just hit his breaking point. The man who once ran Atlanta streets with an iron mic and diamond crown is now facing a battle. He can't out-rap, out-talk, or out-dash hustle. Insiders claim family meetings have turned into full-blown panic rooms. Tiny's crying, Zanique's praying, and the Harris legacy hanging by a thread. So what happened to King Harris? Why's T.I. breaking down? And what dark secret has the internet convinced that the family's been hiding all along? Let's unpack the madness, because this royal meltdown just got real. It started like every other rumor in the rap world: a whisper, a post, a cryptic comment. But this one didn't fade. It grew fast. What began as fan speculation turned into full-blown panic when insiders started leaking that King Harris, the loudest, boldest, and most unpredictable heir of the Harris empire, was secretly facing a serious health condition that his family tried to hide from the world. For years, King Harris was the internet's favorite chaos agent. Whether it was his wild interviews, viral confrontations, or that unforgettable clip where he said he ain't no regular rich kid, he always played the role of Atlanta's young trouble magnet. But suddenly, that energy vanished. No trolling, no rants, no flexes, just silence. And that silence hit louder than any diss track. Then came the trigger. A blurry photo surfaced online showing T.I. outside a medical building, wearing all black, looking like a man carrying the weight of a collapsing kingdom. He wasn't smiling, wasn't talking, just pacing. Within minutes, social media turned into a digital detective agency. Fans zoomed in on the photo, analyzing facial expressions like it was a crime scene. "He looks broken," one comment said. "Something's wrong with King," said another. But the internet didn't stop there. A viral TikTok claimed King had been hospitalized for undisclosed reasons. Some said it was exhaustion. Others whispered about substance issues. And then the most chilling theory dropped, that King was battling a medical condition he'd been hiding for months. Something serious enough to shake the entire Harris household. When fans dug deeper, they noticed T.I.'s social media started changing. The usual motivational captions about hustle and legacy turned into cryptic messages about fighting unseen battles and keeping your faith when life hits hardest. Tiny, usually bubbly and active online, went completely silent. No selfies, no live streams, no posts, just eerie quiet. The silence was louder than words. People started pulling up old interviews where King talked about feeling misunderstood and dealing with things y'all wouldn't believe. Back then, fans thought he was just venting. Now, every quote looked like a cry for help that nobody took seriously. Insiders claimed the truth hit the Harris family like a sledgehammer. T.I. reportedly found out about King's condition weeks before the public did, and that's when everything changed. The man who built an empire on strength, pride, and power suddenly couldn't hold it together. One source claimed he tried to keep it private, but when he realized how bad it was, he broke down. That's not T.I. the rapper, that's Clifford, the father, begging God for one more chance. And that's where the story gets darker. Fans who followed the Harris family for years know they've weathered storms, cheating rumors, arrests, reality show drama, even King's clashes with the law. But this time, it wasn't scandal. It was survival. According to reports, King had been struggling with symptoms for months, but kept it under wraps to protect his image. He didn't want pity. He didn't want headlines. He wanted control, but his body had other plans. Anonymous insiders claimed that after a sudden collapse at home, the family had no choice but to rush him into emergency care. T.I. was reportedly the one who made the call, shaking, panicked, not as the king of the South, but as a dad terrified of losing his son. He allegedly told close friends, "I don't care about the cameras, I just need my boy to be okay." By the time news hit social media, chaos was already brewing. Fans started noticing the timeline didn't add up. Family members were posting positive messages, while T.I. looked devastated in public. That mismatch sparked even wilder theories. Some said the condition was mental, others claimed it was physical. But one rumor stood out: the idea that King had been secretly battling stress-induced complications from fame, pressure, and lifestyle choices that spiraled out of control. It didn't help that King's last few public appearances had shown him looking tired. Not the usual cocky, fiery version fans loved. His once loud confidence had turned into quiet frustration. People noticed. Clips resurfaced of King saying, "Y'all don't know what I go through," and suddenly, it wasn't funny anymore. Then a supposed family insider dropped a bombshell in a podcast interview. "This ain't no PR stunt. This ain't no cloud move. T.I. is hurting for real." That man was in tears. He said, "I'd trade every car, every house, every hit song if I could just make this go away." That quote shattered the internet. The comments turned emotional. Fans who used to roast King for his arrogance suddenly flooded his pages with prayers. "We love you, lil bro," one fan wrote. "Forget the fame, just get better." But the internet can't stay wholesome for long. Within hours, conspiracy theorists hijacked the story. They claimed the secret illness was connected to something deeper, a curse, industry stress, or even retaliation from past drama. One wild thread said, "King exposed too much, and now he's paying the price." Another posted, "This family been playing with dark energy since reality TV. Karma finally came knocking." Still, despite the circus online, one thing remained clear. T.I. was broken. In a live clip that went viral, T.I. said, "As a father, you can't prepare for this. You think you've seen pain till you see your child fighting battles you can't fix." That moment hit millions right in the chest. The man who'd built a career out of toughness was finally vulnerable, and fans couldn't look away. Tiny, on the other hand, was said to be holding the family together behind the scenes. Insiders described her as silent but strong, the glue trying to keep the Harris home from cracking completely. But people close to her said she'd been crying nonstop, afraid not just of losing King, but of the emotional toll it was taking on T.I. himself. He blames himself. One insider said, "He feels like he failed as a father." Meanwhile, King's siblings have been quiet too. Zonique posted a single broken heart emoji on her story, while Domani shared a quote, "Sometimes God breaks you to rebuild you stronger." Fans instantly connected the dots, turning those cryptic posts into confirmation that something serious was happening. Behind closed doors. As the internet spiraled, a few people close to the family begged for privacy, but that only made things worse. In today's world, silence is treated like guilt. Every deleted photo, every vague caption, every unfollow became evidence. "They hiding something big," people said. If it wasn't serious, they'd just say it. But here's the truth. Nobody knows the full truth. All anyone can confirm is that T.I. is hurting, the family is shaken. And King Harris, once the loudest voice in the room, has gone completely quiet. And when a Harris goes quiet, you know something's not right. It's not about fame anymore. It's not about clout, music, or money. This is about a father terrified that his empire might lose its heart, his son. And the scariest part? Everyone says this is only the beginning. Because whatever's happening to King Harris, it's not just physical. It's deeper, darker, and it might be something this family never saw coming. When the first wave of sympathy hit, it spread faster than gossip in Atlanta. People weren't just watching a story, they were living it, refreshing every feed like it was a live countdown to disaster. For once, the internet's favorite rebel son had gone quiet, and silence was more terrifying than any outburst King Harris ever made. Everyone wanted answers. Nobody had them. And then came the noise. A few gossip outlets began posting that T.I. had been seen outside a hospital again. This time with security keeping reporters back. No statement, no press, just tension. It felt like a movie without a soundtrack. Only real breathing, real fear. Theories multiplied. Some said it was exhaustion. Others said addiction. A few claimed King had collapsed after too much pressure. Comment sections became group therapy sessions. One person wrote, "That's not just a rapper's son. That's somebody's kid." Another added, "T.I. looks like he aged 10 years into weeks." Every word T.I. posted after that was dissected like scripture. A simple message, "Keep your family close," got turned into essays about guilt, karma, and fatherhood. Tiny's silence spoke volumes. Fans said they'd never seen her disappear like that, and the longer she stayed quiet, the louder the speculation grew. The louder the speculation grew. Then someone leaked an alleged voice note from an associate, saying the family had been dealing with this for months. According to the voice, King had been under treatment privately, but refused to slow down. The note claimed T.I. was torn between protecting his image and protecting his son. Nobody knew if it was real. But truth didn't matter anymore. The world believed it within a day. King's name was everywhere. YouTubers uploaded timeline breakdowns, blogs recycled the same screenshots, and TikTok filled up with sad background music and slowed down videos of his old clips. Every time he looked cocky or wild in the past now looked like pain hiding under bravado. Comments flipped overnight, from mockery to empathy. The same people who called him spoiled now wrote prayers under his photos. Meanwhile, T.I. became the face of heartbreak. He wasn't dropping bars or motivational speeches. He was breaking down publicly. One livestream changed everything. He looked tired, hollow, like someone who'd been up for days. His voice cracked as he said, "Money can't heal what fame breaks." That sentence alone tore through the internet. Thousands reposted it with captions like, "This is what real pain looks like." Fans started saying that maybe this was a wake-up call every celebrity family needed. They said fame had turned their house into a fishbowl, and King was the one drowning while everyone watched. "We pushed him too far," one post read. "We turned a kid's life into content." But not everyone was ready to be soft. Some accused the family of faking sympathy for attention. They pointed to how conveniently the sources kept talking. Others said T.I. should have protected his son better. It became a digital trial, one side praying, one side blaming. Then, out of nowhere, came another explosion. A viral thread claimed King had been quietly battling an autoimmune illness for months. The post claimed to come from a nurse at the facility who described long nights and constant monitoring. It wasn't verified, but the story felt real enough to make the internet freeze. Fans shared it like gospel. Suddenly, everyone was hashtagging #StayStrongKing. The family stayed quiet. Too quiet. No confirmations, no denials, no posts. Silence became their only defense. That's when the celebrity circle began reacting. Rick Ross posted a message about protecting your heirs. Snoop Dogg dropped a quote about how real wealth is seeing your kids smile. Even 50 Cent, king of mockery, posted a prayer hands emoji under a headline about T.I. It was the first time in years people saw unity instead of rivalry in hip-hop. But chaos sells, and peace doesn't last online. A gossip outlet dropped a leaked message claiming there had been a breakdown between T.I. and King. Just days before the incident, it said the two argued about King's lifestyle, and the stress made everything worse. No proof, but it was believable enough to make headlines. People began framing it as a father and son tragedy, the classic story of pride, fame, and consequences. Every podcast jumped in. Every influencer had an exclusive source. They twisted the story into every version possible: spiritual awakening, industry curse, karma, mental health wake-up call. Some called King a victim of fame. Others said it was T.I.'s redemption story. The truth was lost under clickbait headlines and emotional soundbites. But one thing stood out through the chaos. Fans were united in fear. "We just want him to pull through," one post said. "Forget the drama." Hashtags turned into candle emojis. People started organizing prayer spaces and online vigils. For a moment, the same internet that had once laughed at King was now crying for him. Then came T.I.'s emotional message, the one that stopped everything. He didn't write it for sympathy. It sounded like a confession. He said, "As men, we build walls to feel safe. But sometimes those walls trap the people who love us most. I see that now." It was short, raw, and real. You could almost hear his voice shaking through the text. The post hit harder than any song he'd ever made. Fans shared it with captions like, "Even kings bleed." People who didn't even follow hip-hop started sending prayers. It crossed genres, platforms, and borders. For once, everyone felt something real. But the relief didn't last long. That same night, another rumor exploded: a tweet from a verified gossip page claiming King Harris isn't critical. Conditioned, no proof, no source, just 5 words in a storm. The internet erupted. Hashtags flooded timelines. Memes stopped. Everyone was holding their breath. Then, in the middle of the chaos, a single post appeared on King's account, a black background with white letters: "Still fighting. Love y'all." It wasn't much, but it was enough to bring millions of people to tears. Comments poured in from fans, rappers, influencers, even old enemies. People said they'd never seen the internet unified in hope like this. By the end of that week, King Harris wasn't just a trending topic. He was a symbol, a reminder that behind every headline and every viral clip is a real person, a real family, and a father who'd give up his empire to save his son. The story had gone beyond gossip. It was no longer about clout, controversy, or clicks. It had become something raw, human, and deeply haunting. But nobody knew that the real shock was still coming. Because while the world prayed for King's recovery, another leak was about to drop. One that would make everyone question what really caused his collapse in the first place. The next leak didn't come from a gossip site or a blogger hungry for views. It came from someone who claimed to be close to the situation, and it shook everything to the core. A message started circulating online that said the truth about King Harris's condition wasn't just about his health. It was about pressure, legacy, and the cost of being born into fame. The leak painted a picture of a young man caught between two worlds: the wild one he built for himself online, and the disciplined, perfect one his father spent decades constructing. According to that message, King's health had been deteriorating long before anyone noticed, because he was trying to live up to an impossible image, one that demanded strength even when he was breaking. Inside, People began connecting every public moment differently. That clip of King arguing with his parents on Instagram Live suddenly looked like pain disguised as defiance. That rant about not being built like these other celebrity kids now sounded like a cry from someone tired of pretending. He wasn't rebelling against his family anymore. He was drowning under it. Ti became the center of public sympathy, but also a mirror of guilt. People saw in him the fear every parent hides, that you can protect your child from the world, but not from what fame does to their mind. His old interviews resurfaced, the ones where he said he was raising soldiers, not victims. Fans now twisted that quote into something darker. He raised a fighter who didn't know when to stop fighting. Online debates turned vicious. Some blamed Ti, saying his constant need to prove strength made King feel like weakness wasn't an option. Others defended him, saying no father could have seen this coming. The internet didn't care about fairness, it wanted a villain or a victim, and the Harris family refused to play either. Meanwhile, fans noticed something unusual. Every Harris family member started posting cryptic messages about new beginnings and faith over fear. People said it felt like the family had gone through something life-changing, something that stripped away all the fame and left only raw truth. Then King's old friend went live, saying the situation had been a wake-up call for everybody. He said King had been pushing himself non-stop, late nights, studio sessions, endless pressure to prove he wasn't just Ti's son. He felt like people only loved his dad, the friend said. He wanted to earn his own respect, even if it killed him. That last sentence echoed through every platform like a thunderclap. Music pages started posting clips of King's unreleased tracks, rough demos where he sounded emotional, almost broken. One line hit especially hard: "They love my last name more than my heartbeat." It didn't sound like a lyric anymore. It sounded like a warning nobody caught in time. Ti stayed mostly silent but made one cryptic post that fans still quote today: "I built my kingdom, but forgot to teach my prince how to breathe." That one sentence turned into a viral mantra. It was heavy, poetic, and heartbreaking. For the first time, fans saw him not as a rapper, not as a boss, but as a father admitting defeat to something bigger than fame. Every talk show picked it up. Every podcast dissected it. People said it might be the most honest thing Ti had ever written. Some even said it should be a song, not a hit, but a confession. Then, out of nowhere, King reappeared online. No camera angles, no flashy edits, just his face, pale but calm, speaking softly. He said, "I had to step away. Sometimes when life forces you to stop, it's not to break you, it's to rebuild you." The video lasted less than 2 minutes, but it broke the internet. Comments poured in from every corner of the industry. Even people who never liked him before admitted it was powerful. That clip changed everything. The narrative shifted from tragedy to transformation. Fans started posting that maybe, just maybe, this was the moment that would save him, not destroy him. The boy who was always called arrogant had just humbled an entire generation of spectators. Still, the mystery remained. Nobody ever confirmed what the condition really was. Some say it was physical. Others insist it was emotional burnout. The Harris family never clarified, and maybe that's why the story grew even bigger. The unknown became part of the legend. The unknown became part of the legend. In a world addicted to chaos, King's silence became a statement louder than any headline. He didn't drop music immediately, didn't post flashy content. He just stayed still. And that stillness drove the internet wild. Everyone wanted to know what would happen next. Would he return stronger, wiser, calmer, or disappear completely? Ti, on the other hand, started appearing different. No more tough love speeches, no more ego-heavy posts. He started talking about gratitude, balance, and grace. Fans said it felt like he'd been stripped of his armor. It was as if life forced him to unlearn everything he thought strength meant. That change sparked new conversations across the industry. People started talking about how fame chews up celebrity kids and spits them out. They mentioned names, patterns, and parallels. The Harris story became a symbol of what happens when spotlight meets pressure too young. As the weeks passed, the noise slowly faded, but the echo stayed. Every fan remembered where they were when Ti said, "I just need my boy to be okay." Every parent who watched that moment felt it in their bones. Every celebrity who once acted untouchable suddenly looked more human. Even though the internet eventually moved on, this story left a mark. It became one of those rare viral moments that wasn't about shade, drama, or gossip. It was about truth. Real, messy, painful truth, and deep down, everyone knew the Harris family would never be the same. Ti would go back to the stage. King would find his way back to music. But something invisible has shifted forever. Sometimes it takes losing everything, even for a second, to realize what actually matters. And when the world looked back at this moment, they didn't see fame. They saw a father and a son trying to remember how to love each other in a world that only wants their pain. that was the story that broke the internet. Not because it was scandalous, but because it was real. And the world's never been more addicted to real. And there you have it, one of the rawest, realest stories ever to shake hip-hop royalty. The Harris empire faced something money couldn't fix, fame couldn't hide, and fans couldn't ignore. But if there's one thing this roller coaster proved, it's that even the strongest crowns can slip when life hits too hard. If you made it this far, your T-tolerance is certified elite, because this wasn't just gossip. This was generational emotion served piping hot. So do yourself and the culture a favor, smash that like button like it owes you back child support, and hit subscribe before Hollywood decides to censor Scandal Spark for too much truth. Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team King for showing the world vulnerability? Or Team TI for finally revealing that strength isn't about perfection? Either way, this story isn't over. Tomorrow, the next headline could drop, and trust me, when it does, we'll be here breaking it down like detective at a family reunion. Turn on that notification bell, because in this world, scandals don't sleep. They just refresh every few hours. And remember, this is Scandal Spark, where every secret eventually surfaces. Every silence means something, and every empire comes with a price. Stay tuned. Stay skeptical and stay ready, because the next truth bomb, it's already ticking. Scandal Spark, lighting fires the industry can't put out.